please. Here, give one of those.
Sure. Thank you. Are you a Christian, sir?
Yes, sir.
Man, you know that if I did the numbers just yesterday just to verify my thinking here, based on the statistics about how many pro-life evangelical Christians, that's people that say that this is terrible and they disagree with it, if just 0.02%, you get how small that number is, if just 0.02% of us would go to like the Planned Parenthood in Nashville or the clinic at Welshwood, there'd be so many people there that based on like what people have done in the past, like just kind of showing up and like offering the gospel and offering to help these women and everything like that and telling them that their child is precious and we shouldn't do this, like we would probably shut those places down in a few weeks. If just 0.02%, maybe less, but we're not doing it. If we really cared in general, if we were for real, the 500,000 evangelical pro-life Christians in the vicinity of these places, there would be a lot more than 0.02%, and that's enough, but there would be a lot more out at those places.
Y'all meet up and go to the one in Nashville or something?
We go to Welshwood most often because it's a little more accessible than the Planned Parenthood, and also they do more concentrated killings. I hate to say that, but I mean, we know on Friday and Saturday, for the whole time they're open.
So we go there when we can.
The whole time they're open on Friday and Saturday, they're just killing kids. Going and having a physical presence there at those final moments of those children's lives is the least we could do to show those kids love in their last moments here, right? And some will live because of it. Where is the gospel heard? Where do you go? Where do you go and someone's saying,
just go to church to hear that?
And you know what's a great place to share it and maybe the most needed ever?
In public where we're supposed to?
419 Welshwood, where people are killing their children because Satan commanded them to. That's where I would have to say, if we aren't sharing it there, as much as we're here Sunday morning, share the gospel in public, and you hear it and you hear it and hear it, and everyone feels like it's being done, if it's not being happening when people are literally slaves to sin, walking in to kill their blessings from God, to murder them, are we doing it anywhere really? If we don't start doing something about this, if we don't start showing up there and preaching it, if we don't start treating it like murder, if we don't start calling the politicians to treat it like murder, they'll be doing it to 1-year-olds and 2-year-olds. It's that bad. A question I like to ask, and I would love you to forward this to believers around you and to think through for yourself. What would it take, like how bad would things have to be before we would cancel our church services, or before it would be morally required for us to just say, look, no more church on Sunday. We're going to be out here until this thing is done. We're going to speak up for these children until it's done. You saw that child. If we let that happen to children, I mean, that's a Sandy Hook happened today in Nashville. Who cares? If we let that happen, and it's not worth canceling our church service over, I'm not saying you have to, but I'm saying if you had to choose one or the other, let's address mass murder of babies, or we have to have our church service. If it came down to it.
Shouldn't be a question.
Right.
We've really enjoyed it. We're
All right.
definitely looking to find it.
Thank y'all so much.
Good luck talking to people.
Good luck.
Thank you. Pray for us.
And thank you for having the guts to stand out
Thank
here
you.
with this stuff.
Thank you. Spread it on. Spread it on. Don't let it just be us, okay?
This is a child.
It's not the...
And they don't need to see that. And these are mine, and I don't allow them to see stuff like that.
It needs to stop is what needs to happen.
I agree with that, but it doesn't need to be shown to children.
It needs to be shown to everybody who will look until it is. In Jesus' name. Nobody wants to see it. Nobody wants to talk about it. Nobody wants to do anything about it. Just want to hide.
If this was your children,
I just don't think that children should see
if this was your children, we would do this for you.
Guess what?
Children should not
That isn't
see
my
this.
child. You know why? Because I chose life.
Right.
For my children.
Right.
Should not see this. No child should see it.
No child should go to the other. No child should have to see that.
Right. That's why we want to get rid of it.
It's an adult event, not something that is a family
This is
event.
an adult event. I see adults everywhere.
There's no place. There's no place that we can go where there's not children. No place.
I brought my
Choose an abortion clinic.
We're there.
Go there.
We're there, but we need you to be there so that this won't happen anymore.
I saw 20 kids die today. 40 minutes from this beautiful parade. 20 babies died.
I know that you're upset, but you know that if this was your family, you would want people to care this much about you.
No, you know what? It would never be my family because I told like
Right, but somebody else doing it to your family.
Go over there where there's not children standing.
Ma'am, please direct the anger toward the injustice and not us.
I am upset that you guys are hurting my children.
Right, but could you be upset about this child?
You guys go, please. Seriously, I'm like literally seconds away from snapping.
Okay.
I'm gonna be with
My
him.
heart is
I'm gonna be
beating
with
right
him.
now.
Oh, so,
I'm
so-
sorry. I'm containing myself.
Sir,
Please.
do you know Jesus Christ?
Yeah, we know.
His dad is missionary. Please just go.
Well, Sir, we need to be upset. It's okay to be upset when they're killing babies in Nashville every day. We can't be so sheltered to say, look, we're upset at how terrible. Sometimes you need to be upset. If y'all would direct that hatred, that upset behavior toward this injustice, these children can be saved.
Hey, let's go back here. We need to talk. Listen, we're getting too many complaints because of the fact that the dead fetus is sound, okay?
Yeah, it's a big one. Hold on, let me
This is
turn my camera.
Okay, I got mine on too, brother. So
Okay.
we in the same page here, right?
Yep,
You got it on? You got my shiny face?
What's your name?
Officer Bartolotta, what's yours?
Wayne Gruber.
Wayne? What's up with the signs?
All right, we were just in Nashville today at 419 Westwood Drive. Saw this happen about 20 times. We're Christians, okay? Like we believe what the Bible says is true, and the Bible says to expose the works of darkness.
Because of all the stir it's causing, everybody's seen your sign, seen your message. Are you guys willing to just put it up?
No, sir.
Display a sign that doesn't have it?
No, sir. We'll raise it above your head so you know.
Yeah.
It's not our first rodeo. I'm sorry, sir.
But if you do that, then I may think that you're trying to assault me, and you probably shouldn't do that.
Well,
I've got you on camera saying that you're going to think that. That's unreasonable. That's just bullying.
I would hate for you to think that when it's not true.
But you
For the record, we're not going to assault you.
Okay. Well, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I don't want to be assaulted.
I'll hold the
I don't want to
sign.
be insulted either, sir.
No.
Well, I hope you're not. But you're creating a mob scene out here with these people. And if about 15 to 20 of them jump on you, there's only 2 of us.
Oh, that's okay. You don't have to protect him. I believe in, I believe in I believe as a man, as an adult, I should protect myself.
Yeah.
I'm not asking you for
protection.
I don't mind laying my life down for Christ and for my neighbor. I mean, it can't be any worse than what happened to this child today.
Look at that baby, please. Would you just look at him?
I mean, this happened 20 times. What's me dying? That's a worthy way to die, I figure.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're going to violate our First Amendment rights right now on camera? So you're going to violate our First Amendment rights right now on camera?
Why?
Okay, what officer were you speaking to?
Captain Scruggs.
Captain Scruggs of the Portland Police Department? You're going to take all my signs.
You'll go to the PD.
Okay.
and speak to the chief.
All right.
I'm sorry. Put them up to the Portland Police Department.
What's
Cool.
your name?
Lester.
Thanks.
You go
Tell
see
Captain
Chief
Scruggs,
about it.
thanks for
Yes.
violating our First Amendment rights blatantly on camera.
Okay. Do you got your
No,
ID so I can claim who these properties belong to at the police department?
I'll come back in for him.
Okay.
So-
But we got to know who the owner is. He's not going to know.
This is some champion bullying, guys.
I'll be able to show you the video.
Can you hear me out since you're going to bully me? Can you hear
Am
me?
I bullying you? Have I said
Yeah.
you any disrespect
Well,
whatsoever?
I realize you're obeying orders. You're obeying ridiculous orders. You should tell him to shove it. But
He's the assistant police chief. You know what happens then? Then I'm standing on the corner begging for food for my family, right?
we would help you. We care. We would help you. If you wanted to do right, we would help. We would be there.
I'm not judging you guys.
You can stay at my house.
Think
We'll
about all
feed
those
you.
Nazi officers, like after World War II.
So-
we were just doing our job.
Well, do you know in the time of like Martin Luther King Jr. and Emmett Till and Rosa Parks, there were cops going around and their commanders are giving out stuff and saying, don't show this and you're upsetting the public. And there were people that don't care about their neighbor being murdered. They don't care about Emmett Till. They don't care about Rosa Parks or Martin Luther King Jr. They would say, oh, keep the peace, get the cops out, and they would bully them, just like this. That's what you're doing today.
I'm not trying to bully you.
You look back on history and you would see this as cowardly. You would see this as wrong.
Everybody has opinions to everything, right?
Are you going to say that Martin Luther King was just an opinion, or was it a fact that all people should be treated equally?
People have opinions of people's actions, okay?
But some are right and godly.
Okay.
Some are terrible.
Well, unfortunately, we're almost enticing a riot out here because of these explicit images.
That's not going to stand up.
Now-
That wouldn't stand up in court.
When can we retrieve them?
So you're gonna take my sign, and basically the only way I'm gonna get it back is if I give you my ID, right?
No, your ID purposes was just to identify who the owner of the sign is. He's going to ask me who owns these signs, and I'm going to say two guys. Yeah.
Yeah. So if they mysteriously disappear, it's because we didn't give you the ID?
No.
You can't tell me that that's not. You can't tell me that this isn't awfully suspicious.
It actually could be considered enticing a riot because of how many people are getting upset and offended by the explicit imagery.
Right.
It'd be different if you said abortion, you know, whatever, had words on it.
I get it.
But you're using explicit.
That's not going to stand up. It's not going to stand
Why
up.
is it explicit when, okay, officers go down to the murder mill where this happens and defend the murderers and tell us to get off the grass, back up? Why does justice seem to be working backwards?
You're breaking the law of the United States of America because your captain told you to.
We're just down there.
It does fall under disorderly conduct of enticing.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't.
Look it up.
I know the law.
Okay.
It doesn't.
I do too. I've been doing
This would not stand up in court.
That's fine. You got your rights.
You know, and
I wasn't born
You can
then,
exercise.
I can't. Apparently, I can't.
Never owned
the
it.
Supreme Court said that blacks
Dewell
own property,
Scruggs
not
is the
people
name.
now.
I appreciate that.
My name is Officer Ford. A lot of
It's very
that's officer last
obviously
name.
At what like point do you disobey him? Like, would you know? Like, what order does he have to give that you would say no?
It would have to be something that is completely unlawful.
Well, like, you know, like maybe taking away my First Amendment rights.
We don't disagree or agree. We're not. We have to stay neutral.
But it's not neutral. This is illegal.
We are staying neutral because we're trying to please everyone here. I could get on something, and I could probably stand beside you. You know,
Please look at it. Please look at it. This goes on under protection of the law that you guys supposedly uphold.
So I mean,
not under Tennessee law. It's offensive.
But
It becomes offensive to people. We've got to go ahead.
Okay, I want to ask about that principle.
guys can keep this
If I stood on the corner and I shouted out that, you know, without amplification or anything that would violate a noise ordinance, that Jesus Christ is the King of everything, that every knee should bow and submit to Him.
You have the right to say that.
What if it offended 50 people? What if they got upset and called you?
There's a difference between graphic images like this.
Do
you think that's something a 2 or 3 year old should see?
It doesn't matter because aside from I could go into the nuance of my position on that, but it doesn't matter in the eyes of the
argument whichever way you look.
It doesn't matter in the eyes of the law.
It's not in the eyes of the law. It's in the eyes of a reasonable person.
By no means are we going to try to deprive you of your signs. I know these cost money. It probably costs money to make. How much?
$60.
$60 for 2 signs or 3?
For
one.
Okay, for one. Okay. So if you guys, where's your vehicle at?
Back there.
That way.
We'll walk with you and just make sure you put them up to keep the peace today. And then, you know, obviously if you're waving them and showing them, then we're going to have some issues. Here, you want to carry these back, guys?
All right, go ahead, guys.
You might want to tell your sheriffs and leaders of your police department to get their priorities right. You know, there are certain people that have the authority. Now, you guys don't because you have to obey the orders of your higher magistrate. I get that. But there are magistrates that give you orders that have the duty before God. It doesn't matter, like, you know, for example, if Hitler is the law and he says gas the Jews, I understand that there are certain people that don't have the right to just go kill Hitler, that they don't have that authority. But there are certain lower magistrates beneath him that do. And you guys, like the sheriff department, etc., do have that authority. They should go and they should arrest these abortionists, and they should lock these doors.
Yeah, the sheriff has the power.
Despite of what the federal government says. I can't excuse Governor Haslam and everyone in the executive chain of command that actually has authority to issue commands. I know you guys don't. I met you were regular police officers, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I understand that for you guys, but I encourage you to say, look, if you're serious about this, at what point do we draw the line? Right now, they're saying, hey, in America, you can't follow the example of the Levite in a way that's appropriate. Now, obviously, he didn't have a printing press. We do, and we should have the right to use that to expose something like that. I mean, we're arguing against Rosa Parks and Emmett Till's mom and Martin Luther King Jr. They did this. We're arguing against the abolitionists of slavery right now, who went. Look, my friend. I mean, I'm sorry to take up a little more of your time. My shirt's a graphic image that they used in the abolition of slavery. The scarred back and the chains. Am I not a man and a brother?
Yeah.
That's what you know.
People were disgusted by seeing the scarred with back of slaves. The same way they're disgusted because it's disgusting.
All right, guys, be careful, okay? All right, guys.
Thank you.
Appreciate you guys exercising your rights with people that died for us, so that's important.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, make sure they ain't displayed.
I disagree with your boss, though.